Good afternoon, guys. How many of you are hungry? Okay. I was asking for hungry for growth. You are hungry for growth? Awesome. Thank you. So, talent, hard work, communication, and results. 22 years back, when I started my career, I thought they are the best pillar for my growth. How many of you agree? Thank you. Well, I was right, but not completely. So what happened is, when I look back, I had, in 22 years, I had 21 appraisals. And in each appraisal, out of 21, 18 times I got 5 out of 5 rating. 2 times I got 4 and one time 3. That means I was almost best in the class. And because of that, I thought that I should have the biggest promotion, biggest salary increment, and fastest growth. But that didn't happen. And that made me wonder, if performance is not the right criteria, then what exactly it is? And that's where I started learning new skills, reading books. Essentially, I was upgrading myself. What do you think? What happened after that? Well, it helped me a little bit, but didn't help me completely. I could not grow as fast as I wanted to grow. And I started thinking again, now what? And that's where I realized saying that I need to find something more. I was reading all the books, I was upgrading myself, but something was missing. And what exactly was missing is what I needed to see. And that's where I started looking at all the successful people, what exactly they are doing. And I cracked something. I realized that they have a pattern, and that pattern helped them grow fast and become and reach to the top. And most of those people were at the top, CEOs, CXOs, and everybody at the top in their specific area. And when I looked back, I went deeper. I realized that they have a deeper understanding of human psychology, how people really operate, how they really take decisions, how they really act. And when I went deeper, I realized that someone has written about it in more detail. 2000 years back, Acharya Chanak actually wrote something which was very powerful, and it is what was used by all of these guys who were at the top. And it was in plain sight in front of us, but we were not actually using it. And today, I'll help you understand what exactly was that and how all these guys are actually reaching to the top. And once you see that, you'll realize, oh, I knew all these things, but I never actually applied and used it in my life to really grow as fast as I wanted to. So how many of you are ready to understand that? Thank you. So the 4 timeless strategies are Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. How many of you think you already knew about it? Yeah? Many of you already knew about it. Some of you might not be, but many of you might be knowing about it. But there is a different flavor to this that we'll understand today. In older days, Acharya Chanak helped Ashoka, a simple village boy, to become biggest emperor of this world, right? His empire stood from Afghanistan, Pakistan to almost whole of India. If a simple boy can use this strategy to become biggest emperor in this world, then what exactly you can use it for and how can you really grow is what we'll understand today. So what exactly is Sam? So Sam in simple terms is about communication, right? It's the persuasions through negotiation, diplomacy and dialogue. It's how you talk to other people and ensure they are convinced, right? And these are some of the strategies are not just used by Chanakya, but it was also used in Mahabharata. If I give you a simple example, just before the Mahabharata war, what happened? Krishna one day said that I'll go to Duryodhan and I'll talk to him and convince him, saying that if he is ready to give me 5 villages to Pandavas, we'll not have this war. So he went there, he discussed, he talked to Duryodhan and said, Duryodhan, oh Duryodhan, give us these 5 villages and we'll not have this war, and you can live in peace, and Pandavas will also live in peace, and they will not ever fight with you. Duryodhana did not accept. He tried to actually capture Krishna, and that was the story, and that's why we had this Mahabharata war, because he did not agree to this. But this was all about Sam in older days. But how is the playbook in new days, in modern world? Is genuine emotional connection to build trust. So if you really convince and talk to people to understand and listen, you can build trust around them. And if you really build trust about them, you will actually be able to convince people to do something for yourself. It's about winning the heart, not winning the mind. First you win the heart. If you really win the heart, you will be able to win the mind as well, or brain as well. And you will be able to ask the other person to do something for you. As simple as that. So how can you really use Sam in today's world? So as simple as that. Build relationships before request. Once you have a good relationship with somebody, then you can ask for something. You cannot simply walk to somebody and say, can you do this for me? Or can you do that for me? Nobody would do that for you, right? But if you have a genuine connection with that person, the person trusts you, he will definitely do something for you. As simple as that. Then understanding before answering, right? Many a time when we are talking to somebody, we are always trying to answer to them. We are not understanding them. If you start understanding people, they will understand that you are listening to them. And then when you answer, you can genuinely help that person or genuinely answer that person. So never try to answer on the first instance. Try to understand the person. Once you are understood, then you answer. And third and most important thing, especially when you are having hard conversation, especially in professional lives, when we are having hard conversation, use empathy. Our previous person also talked about it, right? Empathy. So if you use empathy, you make the person feel and seen. Once they are feel and seen, and then you actually convince that person, they will hear you. Otherwise, they would not. Because you are not understanding them, why would they understand, right? As simple as that. So you have to start using Sam. If you want to use Sam, as simple as that, first build relationship, understand, and use empathy. And then you ask the other person to do something for you, and they will definitely do it for you. So that was about Sam. Now second is Dam. Dam is all about money, right? Dam is money in Hindi or Sanskrit. Okay. So the old before that, a punchline. Man jeeta to ran jeeta. So if you want to remember Sam, remember this. Man jeeta to ran jeeta. If you win the heart, you will win the battle. Okay. And all of you guys, younger generation here, don't try to win the heart in different way. Okay. It's all about professional things. Thank you. Okay. After that, Dam. Dam is all about money, right? So achieving goals through economic means like financial gifts, giving bribes and all those things. In older days, you might have seen in lots of these old epics where kings and queens will take out their har and they'll take out their ring and give it to the person. Okay, you have done something good for me. Take this, right? And that is how they used to win the loyalty. In Mahabharata also, if you see what happened to Karna, right? He was Pandav, right? Essentially, but because Duryodhana gave him the Ang Pradesh, right? He made him a king. His loyalty with Duryodhana, as simple as that. And he continued to have that loyalty even after he came to know that he is a Pandav and he is fighting against his own real brothers. But he continued to do that even after knowing all those things, because he had the loyalty with Duryodhana, because he gave him that respect and he gave him that kingdom. Right? So that is how you use Sam, and that is how it used to be used in older days. Now how can you use in today's world? So today's world is all about power of value and exchange. What value you can give it to other person? If you really give some value, they will reciprocate. It's all about reciprocation. So give some good value to people, they will do anything for you. So in simple terms, if you understand, help people before they reciprocate. In job, give more value than your role defined. Okay. If you are just doing what is expected from you, then why would somebody give you the biggest rise and biggest appraisals and biggest promotions? Why? Because you are doing the work that you are allocated for. If you are something special, then you get something special. If you are not special, you are not getting anything special. Then be someone who gives valuable insight and perspective. Why would people come to you? Unless you give something valuable back to them, right? That's when you will come. In college, when you go to somebody who is good in studies and he is ready to give his notes to the other person, then only people will go to him. If he's not giving the notes, why would you go to that person and ask for notes, right? Or assignment for that sake. You want to finish some assignment, somebody is giving you assignment, then only you will go to that person, right? So that is what happens. So if you don't give some value to people, people would not value you. So you have to give value to people. So how can you use in today's world? So Dam is help people without keeping scores. I'll give you something, you give me back in return. If you are doing this, then it's an exchange. It's pure exchange. You are not adding value to the person. So you have to start giving actual genuine value to people, and that's where they will help you. Share knowledge freely to your juniors, and it also applies to professionals, saying that if their professionals are there, share your knowledge with people. They will value that, right? Mentor them, support your peers, all students, support your friends. If you support your friends, they will be your friends. Otherwise, they would not be. And present ideas to solve organization problems. If you are professionals, start using this. If you really give some value to your organization, they will value you. If you're not giving value to your organization, you're of no use. You can be kicked out tomorrow. As easy as that. And we know in today's world how many people in all different organizations are getting kicked out because they are not adding value to people. Not everybody is getting kicked out, right? Only few people are getting kicked out. Why? Because they are not adding value there. And if you are valuable, they will keep you. So, simple example and simple term, pehle do, fir lo. First give, then you will receive. Okay? Bible also says that, give and you shall receive. Right? So, all the cultures actually, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, everybody says that, first give and you will definitely receive. So, start using that principle. The third one is dand. How many of you understand dand? It's all about punishment in Hindi, right? Giving dand, right? So, in old time, it's using force, punishment, authority to achieve something, right? So, a simple example, Mahabharata, I don't know how many of you know this story, saying that Dhritarashtra was blind. So, nobody was ready to marry her, right? So, what happened? He goes to the other king, okay, Gandhar Naresh, with a huge army, okay. So essentially, he went and he said that I want you to marry your daughter to Dhritarashtra. Gandhar Naresh was not ready, but when he saw that huge army, he had to give in, and he married Gandhari to Dhritarashtra. And because of that, then Shakuni decided that I'll destroy the Kuru Vansh. And that was one of the biggest reasons why Mahabharata war actually happened. He wanted to destroy the Kuru Vansh, that once Pandavas and Kauravas, everything should have been destroyed. Essentially Pandavas remained, but that is what the intention was. One simple force created this whole Mahabharata, and Shakuni was one of the biggest reasons for Mahabharata war. So how can you use in modern world? What exactly it means? Building motivations through fear of consequences. Whenever we see that if something can go, if you don't study, you might fail in your exams, or you might not get that many marks into exams. So it's all fear, right? Fear of consequences. So dand is people act not because of comfort, but because of fear of losing something. So if you give them reason for fear of something, they will definitely act. So for professors here, you always tell them, right? You will get fail if you don't study, as simple as that. And that is what would happen, and they will start studying. And sometimes when you get low marks, then also you start studying because next time you want to get good marks. So it's all about fear, right? Not by agreement, by making them responsible and accountable. Anything you want to get it done, if you just tell them, okay, let's get it done, they might or might not do. But if you are the person who is responsible and accountable for this person would own that thing. And then he'll ensure other people are also supporting him to get this thing done. And that is what happens when you make people responsible and accountable. It's also about dand. And the third one is willingness to say hard things. It's all about giving the right feedback at right time. If you are not giving the feedback at right time and you let it linger, people might make the same mistakes again and again and again. and you might expect a different result, but you would not get the different results because people are the same. They are in their comfort zone. They are not changing. So they are not giving you a different result, and they are making the same mistake again and again. So what's the playbook for today? How can you use in your professional and personal life? So there are two parts to done. So one is how do you use for yourself and how you use it in the professional or personal setting with others. So first and foremost thing is make yourself indispensable. Be so good that if the company or people lose you, they will lose something important. So they will never want to kick you out of the place you are. As simple as that. Second is standards and boundaries to command respect. Many times what happens is somebody who's very approachable, always helping people all the time. Then what happens? People take them for granted. So if you really want to command your respect, sometimes you need to act strong. You need to set boundaries. You cannot come, you cannot go to your principal's office every time, anytime, walk in and say, ma'am, I don't want to do this, I want to get this thing done and that, right? Because there is some boundaries set. So you cannot walk in just like that and talk. But you can talk to your class teacher probably more often than your principal. So that's about keeping those boundaries. On the other side, showing the cost of inaction. This can be used in professional setting anywhere, saying that if you don't do this, you will get this. You might get kicked out, you might lose your salary, you might lose your incentives. All those things can impact you. Clear accountability. Whoever is accountable and responsible, the person would act. If you don't define with clarity who is accountable and responsible, people don't act. So you need to ensure that you are giving the right accountability and people will take action. And honest, tough feedback. This becomes very difficult. Students might not understand this, but in professional settings, many a times we have to take tough decisions. When we take tough decisions, we have to communicate to other people. But if we are not giving that tough decisions back to the people or giving the right feedback to people at the right time, they might continue to make the same mistakes again and again. So we want to give that tough feedback to people at right time. So that's about done. So done, what's the punchline you can use? डर के आगे जीत है, right? Beyond your fears lies your victory. So as simple as that, you start using done, and they are all used in stages, right? First you use sam, then done, and then done. You cannot just directly jump to done. You just don't start making people fear about something. First you just have dialogue, and then you actually go to done. You give some bribery. If you do good things, I'll give you good marks in your internals. And then you go to next level. If you are not studying, I would not give you good marks, and that is where you would get impacted. So that's about done. And then comes his bhed. Bhed is all about exploring secrets and weaknesses of opponents. In older times, that is what was used. In Mahabharata, how was it used? There were lots of instances of Samdam Dand Bhed in Mahabharata. A simple example is Mahabharata Yuddha. There were three very powerful people, right? Bhishma, Bhishma and Karn and Acharya Drona. Okay, all of them were actually killed using Bhed. I don't know how many of you realized, because Karn was so powerful that if he had his, this Kavach and Kundal with him, he would not have been killed. So Krishna ensured that he has taken those and then he was killed. Dronacharya could not have been killed unless until they would have told, saying that Ashwatthama got killed and he left his weapons, and that's when he was killed. And same with Bhishma. Right? So same thing was used in Mahabharata in different ways. And the same thing you can also use in New World is using insight, strategy and knowledge for getting things done. So how do you use it? What exactly that means? What insights and what knowledge you need to bring? So it's all about understanding what is between the lines, okay, in today's world. So Ved is about reading between the lines. Your peers or your manager saying something, he might not be happy, but he might not directly say it to you. But you need to understand that he is not happy. For students, it's same. When your teacher is saying something, you need to understand what exactly she or he is trying to tell it to you, and that accordingly you have to act. About understanding power dynamics. Who is the decision maker? In professional settings, especially very important, what are the power dynamics? Who is the right decision maker? And you need to actually look at that person talk to that person, make that person understand what is happening, what you need to do. If you're just talking to somebody who is subordinate and he is not the decision maker, they will not actually, you would not get the results that you wanted to have. Okay, and the smartest people don't always win. It's the most aware. And we have seen in my professional life, I have seen it up till time, saying there are people who are not good, who don't do good work. Okay, they don't have good work ethics, but they actually grow. Why? Because they are aware of who is the right person to tap and grow. Right? You know the word that in Hindi we use, that is about chaplusi, right? That is what people do, and that's how they grow. But that's a strategy that is defined by Chanakya as well. It's used in Mahabharata as well. So it's time-tested strategy to use. Okay, so how can you use in your growth? Observe just not people, but also what they exactly say. You know, they might or might not say, but their facial expressions, their expressions would actually, emotions tell you, saying that what exactly they are feeling. And accordingly, you need to act. Be political aware. I already explained, saying that you need to know who is the decision maker. If the decision is to be made by manager, you have to tap into manager. If decision is to be made by principal, then you have to tap into principal. You cannot go to a class teacher and get that decision done, because principal has to take that decision. So you need to find the right person to actually get things moving. Anticipate change. Learn to see patterns before others do. Very, very powerful, especially in professional settings. Let's say your company is not doing good. After 3 months or 6 months, they might fire people. So why don't you anticipate it today and start looking for a change and go to some other place, so that you are safe in your own growth. It's very important to understand what's happening around you. Be aware of anything and everything which is happening. Student life also, you need to understand where the power dynamics are, who will give you the marks, and then accordingly ensure that you tap into the right people and you will get the best marks. So that's about Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, and very important. जब लोग तुम्हारे खिलाफ बोलने लगे, समझ लो तुम तरक्की कर रहे हो. In professional setting, this is said in movie Guru, right? When people start talking about you, that means you are growing. If you are not growing, you are not known, you are nothing, nobody will talk about you. But when you are growing, people will talk behind you a lot. So you need to understand, when people are talking, it's good for you, most of the times. Okay, because you are growing, you are good. So just to summarize, what is Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed? Sam is all about, in old time it was persuasion and diplomacy. In today's world, it's emotional connection, to build trust. And once you have built trust, you can ask people to do things for you. Dam is about rewards and recognitions exchanged earlier. Today is value creation. How much value you can add in other person's life, and they will value you. Dand is punishment and control in older days. Today is fear-based action, right? You look at the consequences and then people would act. And in these two sides are there. One is how you can use it for yourself to become indispensable, and other side, how do you make other people accountable to do something. And Bhed is about secrets and divisions. It changes to insights and strategy and understanding how people are acting, who is the right person to take decision, and that's how you win. So, you know, when I realized this, that's when I realized how I have to grow and how can I grow and why all these things happened. So my growth didn't stall because I was not talented. It stalled because I did not understand anything more than work. I did not understand people, this power dynamics, right? And that's why I was not able to grow as fast as I wanted to grow. So if professionally, if you want to really grow, you need to understand how can you use this Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed in different times, and that's how you will grow. So it's not all about hard work, right? It's also about, as Chanakya said, it's about working hard, but at the same time playing wise to ensure that you use Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed to grow yourself and win in your life. Thank you very much.